Who the heck is your ideal client? Can you describe them in detail? Welcome to the Passion Pursuit podcast. I'm your host, Haley Thomas, and I'm obsessed with helping you create a business that supports the life you dream about. I'm a multi-passionate creative who let her curiosity take her down the unconventional path of entrepreneurship. I have worked with many entrepreneurs just like you who desire to make an impact and an income by doing what lights them up. Get ready to learn about the strategies, shifts, and stories that will equip and inspire you to take action. This is the space where dreams become reality. Hey, welcome back. Today we are talking about one of my favorite topics as a business owner, attracting your ideal client. If you are a new business owner, this episode is crucial. And if you're a seasoned business owner, even if you've done work around this episode is crucial. No matter how many times you revisit this, you always learn something new. So first and foremost, let's talk about why this topic matters. At the end of the day, you're creating products and services for real life people. And I think we forget about that when we're in the day-to-day operations of our business, right? Like we're thinking about the strategy, we're diving into what the product has, what our service includes, all of the different bullet points that we're putting on our website. But at the end of the day, who is on the other side of that purchase? It's our clients, it's our people. And so to better know how to market our products and services and to produce the best services that we can, it's important to know who your ideal client is. And so first and foremost, we want to identify where our client is and where they want to go so that we can figure out how we help them. Entrepreneurship really is problem solving, right? We're taking someone from where they are to where they want to go, and we come in with our product or service to fill that gap in between. Also, thinking about this, people buy from people. And if you can connect in a more personal way, it can not only increase your sales, make your marketing a heck of a lot easier, but you also will be able to have better results through your service and product because you took the time to get to know who you're actually serving. So let's dive in. First off, who the heck is your ideal client? Can you describe them in detail? For example, I'll use my business. I work with solopreneurs who are multi-passionate, ready to start and scale their dream business. Most of my clients are actually not local. I do most of my business on Zoom, and so that is not a factor for me. For some businesses, that may be the case. My clients are spinning their wheels with ideas, and they're trying to figure out where and how to begin when it comes to the ideas and strategies that they want to bring to life. My clients desire to create a business that not only makes an income and an impact, but that supports the life that they want to create. So that's an example of who my specific ideal client is. But just to give you another example to keep thinking this through, let's say you're a photographer in the Milwaukee area. Hello, if that's really you. And let's say you do vintage style weddings. Your ideal client is probably going to be in the general local area unless you're someone who does not mind traveling. Your client loves that timeless, classic, old style look, and they want to have that come to life for their big day. They have a medium-sized budget, and they're looking for the person who can make them feel at ease, knowing that all of the important moments of their day are going to be captured. So you see where I'm going? It's giving you that space to really think, who is the person on the other side of the service or product that we are offering? And when you can start to picture that, and when you think about who that person is, it connects you so much deeper to how you're going to serve them. So take a moment here and describe your ideal client. Secondly, I want to dig in a little bit deeper. Okay, so this is an activity. If you are not listening and driving your car, I'd encourage you to grab a piece of paper and make 3 columns. So grab that piece of paper and draw 2 lines down the center of your paper. On the top left, I want you to write point A. And at the top right, so we're skipping the middle column, at the top right, I want you to write point B. And in the middle column at the top, I want you to write your business name, or you can even get specific with this and put the name of the actual product and service that you are offering. So first things first, let's start with point A, that left column. Where are your current clients in this current moment? This is before they're working with you. So in this moment, in this season of their life, what are they struggling with? This is otherwise known in the industry as their pain points. So really getting clear on what is it that they are feeling in this moment? What obstacles are they running into? What gaps are holding them from getting to where they want to go? So take a moment to dive a little bit deeper into point A and really figuring out where those pain points are for the client that you want to serve. Now we're going to move all the way to the far right column. This is point B. And I want you to write out, what does your client want? And I want you to write it as if their desires, their wants have already happened. So how would they be feeling on the other side of your product or service? What results would they have? What support would they receive? What deliverables would they have from that product or service? And what would they need that they're getting from that? So taking a moment to describe the after, right? Like we're really painting that picture of before and after. So take that moment in the column B. Then I want you to come back to the middle, and this is where you come in. So at this point, now you're probably starting to see where I'm going with this. There's that gap in the middle, right? And that is where you come in as a product or service to take your client from where they are in point A to where they want to go. And so in the middle, what does your service entail? Why do they need it? And why do they need it now? So take a moment to brainstorm everything about your product or service that is going to support your client from getting from point A to point B in their transformation. And if you didn't catch this question when I was talking about point B, I highly, highly, highly recommend going back. The most important question that I love to sit with for point B is, how are they going to feel after working with you? Why does this matter? Why does digging into this before and after matter? Why is it so important to connect with the feeling and the emotion of both of these places? Well, honestly, a lot of marketing and attracting our ideal client comes down to the basic human needs. People want to feel seen, heard, and understood. So if we can get in the trenches with our people and understand where they are, where they want to go, not only will we attract the right aligned clients, but we'll produce better results because we took the time to really understand where our client is and what they need from us. The other piece of this is sometimes business owners talk only about the product and service. And I get it. Trust me, I'm a business owner too. I love to talk about the ways that I can serve my people because honestly, we get excited about what it is that we're creating. We want to get our products out there. We want to get our services out there because if you're an entrepreneur, my guess is that you love what you do. You love what you're creating. But sometimes our clients don't even know that what we have to offer is what they need until we can slow it down and explain it in a way that drops into what they're feeling and where they want to go. It is so important to get out of just talking about the product or service and really start to connect from the people first standpoint and connecting on how they're feeling in this moment. For example, if your business is helping someone to create content and you are working with a business owner who is so overwhelmed because they have all these ideas and no clue how to share them, you're helping them remove the emotion of being overwhelmed. They're going to connect with that right away because that's how they're feeling in this moment. So you want to speak to that so that they can better understand, oh, okay, I hear you. You're going to help me get rid of that emotion. And truly, that's what it comes down to with sales and marketing is our products and services are either giving us an emotion on the better side and removing one. So we want to talk about it in that way. At the end of the day, you guys, business is about the people. And it's important that we get back to focusing on that. Now that we've talked about who you're attracting, let's dive into a few more aspects that will support you once you do attract that ideal client. First and foremost, A lot of the times I hear these big goals of, I want to serve 50 clients or 100 clients this year. And yet the back end of the systems that you have in place could not support that. And so it's important to really set ourselves up on the back end to take the time to do that work to make sure that when we are bringing in that influx of clientele, that we're actually able to support and serve them to the best of our ability. And so when you think about this, I want you to think about the systems and processes and just like throw those words out of the way and think about this in terms of the client journey. So when you attract somebody, let's say it's on Instagram, right? They shoot you a DM, they're asking you about a service that you just posted about on your stories. To be able to take that a step further, what does that process look like for bringing that client on? Let's say you hop on a discovery call to make sure that you're aligned. You go through a questionnaire, you dive into what their goals are, and you better understand where it is they want to go. And let's say they're like, yeah, I'm totally in, I'm in, like, let's say yes, let's get this started. What is happening after the fact? Do you have a proposal in place? Do you have a contract in place? How are you sending the invoice? How are they paying you? Do you offer payment plans? Does your system have the capability of doing that? So that's just one little piece, right? Like that's just the contract. But then we also want to think about, okay, if we're bringing somebody on, what information do we need from them to best serve them? And depending on your product or service, it may be helpful to have something like an onboarding questionnaire where you can dive in a little bit deeper with that client to make sure that you understand all of the pieces about their business or service or problem that you can then support them with. Then what happens after the fact? One thing I love to do when somebody signs on is I love to send a gift. I love to surprise people in the mail with just a little something that says, hey, I appreciate you. I am so excited to work with you. Thank you for saying yes. Let's get this thing started. So it can be as simple as maybe you shoot somebody a $5 Starbucks gift card in an email just to celebrate that they said yes. Maybe you send a bouquet of flowers in the mail. They have all sorts of companies that do that nowadays. Or maybe you think about something more intentional. Is there a book that you've read recently or something that reminds you of that client that you could send them in the mail as a little bonus surprise? I always love to think about this quote that people won't forget or will forget what you've done, but they'll never forget how you made them feel. So it's these aspects along the client journey that we can really think about and plan out to best support and surprise them along the way. Then from there, where is the behind the scenes stuff happening? Are there places you need to hold their information or documents? What programs are you using? Like I love to use Google Drive. I use that for just about everything. All of my clients have their own folder where they can drop in stuff for me to review. So thinking about in terms of your product or service, what systems best support you? And then do you have checkpoints along the way to make sure that you're keeping those lines of communication open with your ideal client all the way through until the very end? So that's a little bit more into the client experience side of things, and we can definitely dive into that more on a future episode. So if you are interested in hearing that and diving deep into that, let me know by dropping a comment. But that is just like a super quick overview on how important it is to have those systems and processes in place. A couple more things to think about when we are attracting our ideal client. We have to remember that we are not going to be for everyone. And honestly, that is a blessing in disguise. I think sometimes, especially in those first few years of running a business, we tend to say yes to everything that's in front of us. And while that can seem good at the time, right? Because obviously we want to make an income with our business right off the get-go. And so we hear about that and we're like, oh yes, this client wants this, I can do that. And we jump in right before we even think about, is this the work that I really want to be doing long term? So think about it in this way. I actually have a client who I can use as the perfect example. He is a content creator and he really wants to work with brands that are making a difference, small businesses that are passionate, really focused on that impact side of things. And he recently had a client that was more in the political side and, to be honest, just was not his vibe. And so he recently released that client because although, yes, do they pay well? Sure. but does it really align with the work that he is wanting to be doing? No. And at the end of the day, while yes, we want to bring in income, we want to do so in a way that lights us up and helps us to do the work that most excites us. So with that being said, thinking about the long-term vision of this, because when you say no to what's not aligned, you're going to end up leaving space for what is. I promise you this. I have so much evidence of this within my own business and with clients. Sometimes it takes a little bit of taking that step back to create that space for what we really want to attract. And the last point that I want to speak about today is aligning your brand. So what I mean by this is, do the platforms that you have currently set up that speak about the work that you do, your website, your Instagram, Facebook page, YouTube, TikTok, all these platforms, is what you're posting aligned with the clients that you want to bring in? Does your client understand who you work with by what you post? And this is why what I spoke about earlier with really digging into who our client is, where they're at, and where they want to go is so important, so that when we're diving into the marketing aspect of our business, we're making sure that we're speaking to our clients, to who we actually want to attract. So looking at your Instagram and thinking from the client's perspective, if they were in that point A spot, if they were to read your Instagram bio, would they be like, oh, this is the person that can help me? Or would they be unsure? We want to make sure that there's no questions that come out of that, and that what we have in front is super clear and concise, so that our clients know that we're the ones that can be of service to them. The other thing too is, does your client or does your business speak to your ideal client in more specific ways of talking about how the experience will be in working with you? Or are you solely talking about the product and service and what's included? So being really, really mindful that when you're working with someone, especially if you're a service-based business, that most of this is going to be about the experience of working with you. And if you can describe that, if you can really lay out what that process is so that your client knows and there's nothing that's super unexpected, there's no surprises, they're going to feel so much more comfortable and confident saying yes to what you have to offer, because they already can anticipate what they can expect from you. And if we can have our clients feeling really confident and comfortable before they even work with us, I mean, that's just going to level up your client experience as a whole. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Passion Pursuit podcast. If you loved this, head on over and hit subscribe so you never miss an episode. New episodes drop every week. I can't wait to hang out with you again soon.